What's up, guys? We got another interview for Grind Towards Success, and this time we're in a music studio room with none other than Bam Keith. So this is gonna be a good episode. A lot of good advice about to come your way. Stay tuned. What's up, world, and welcome to the 21st episode of Grind Towards Success. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. I already introduced him in the intro. Bam Keith, Brendan Thomas. He's a music producer, he's an artist, just good work all around. He's always hustling, he's always grinding, he's always putting that work in towards his goals and dreams. Brandon, before we get started, before we get really dive into it, you mind me asking, how did you get the Bam Keith name?
Man, Bam came from my grandmother. Me growing up, she always used to call me Bam Bam because I was pretty much a destructive little child, walking around, messing up things all the time. But then later on, I became a drummer around when I was 8 years old, I think. And the name Bam kind of stuck with being a drummer, and so that's pretty much how it happened. Keith is my middle name. So,
Okay.
When I finally decided to just have this producer name or I have this producer / artist name, I just decided that Bam Keith was the best thing, that it was more natural for me, and I didn't want to make up a name. I didn't want to call myself Metro something or nah, no shame. No shame. But yeah, I wanted something that was just more organic, and Bam Keith, it just stuck.
That's
it
awesome,
stuck more,
dude.
so yeah.
So, okay, Bam, so you're a music producer. What all does that entail? What do you do when it comes to producing music?
Whew, man. All right, so let me tell you. So, number one, for me, personally, I've heard some other people say this too, but it's most definitely worked for me. Musicianship was the thing that really helped me become a music producer. I didn't even know I wanted to be a music producer growing up, obviously, and because I was just a musician, and I played the drums, and I think I was starting on piano, and I was tinkering around with the bass guitar and all that stuff, and I played clarinet in band in the 6th grade, and kept building up from there. Literally the next year in 7th grade is when I started, but I realized that, okay, wow, it's not just musicianship. You have to figure out, you have to know the science of sound. You know what I mean? You got to know, if there's too much low end, you have to figure out, what frequency someone's voice is, you have to, peak and it's a bunch of different fine-tuning skills that you have to learn, and then you can't just know it right away. It's something that your ears have to be trained to learn, and over time, dealing with sound. And so music production, the main thing I'd say that I had to learn about music production is that it's completely different from musicianship, so that's what I would say.
Completely different. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's just more of a work into it, more of knowing the science of it more.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't think of it like that. That's crazy. And you said this is something you never thought you would do as a kid. So
yeah.
As a kid, how'd you get started in music? What was it? You said you used to Bam on stuff. That's how you get the nickname Bam Bam. So how did how that work? How did that happen for you?
Man, I remember my mom was in this church choir, and I used to go to practice with her every Wednesday. And so one day they're like, "Hey, you want to join the church choir?" I'm like, "Okay, I guess." I'm a little 7, 8 year old, and I noticed that the musician, the drummer, was never showing up for practice. And I'm like, I noticed that as a kid. I'm like, "Well, can I try the drums?" And they're like, "Oh, you know what? I don't see why not." And that's how I got started, right there.
That's crazy.
With the drum set,
So it's been years. It's not something that happened overnight. You was like, I'm be a music producer. No, this has been a journey that's been going on since you was little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a thought, guys. It takes years. It doesn't just click like that. It does take a while, and you start dabbling in other things, and all of a sudden you find yourself a music producer.
out of nowhere, you know. And so it's really a process though. Most definitely, it is a process. Even doing what you love, it's still work. So, you know, that's what I had to learn growing up. I know it's like doing what I love is special, and like, you know, and a lot of people say it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? And like, which is true to some extent, but it's just like some of the things you're gonna have to do that you don't want to do in order to get to what you want to do. You know, if I'm making sense, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, you have to lay the foundation down, which unfortunately that's the grunt work, the stuff that nobody loves doing,
right?
But you have to do it, and then you find yourself hitting the top of Success Mountain. And you're like, this is why I enjoy doing it. It's so much easier, but it wasn't for this back those years ago.
Yeah,
I never got here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, how do you stand out in the music world? Like, how do you get your music out there and stand out from your competition? Because music's really crowded. Like, everybody talked in the Kansas City area. It's like, I want to work on music. I want to do music. I want to be an artist. I want to do beats. I want to do this. I want to do that. How do you stand out from that?
Well, the first thing I'd say is just knowing that the music industry is small, knowing that anybody can know anybody, you know, and that's the number one thing. So, me standing out, I know that I have a different type of personality, you know, and that's the main thing that matters. You know, a lot of people, you can be talented, you can be good, but if you're not cool to be around, then they don't want to, you know, nobody wants to do, you know, music with you. Like, and so that's one of those things. But with that being said, there's also a certain point of strategy that you have to enter too, like when you're dealing with certain people. Me, I did this thing to where I pointed out the 4 most popular artists in Kansas City that was getting like 60,000 plays, 100,000 plays on their songs, like, you know, people that were close to record deals and all that stuff. And what I did was I used my musicianship to play drums at shows, you know, to have them notice me, talk to them, mingle with them, and I gave them all each one free beat. Now, if I would have told somebody, you know, or told a mentor of mine like that plan, he would have been like, "Oh, you're crazy," you know, that free beat. But I did it because I knew that, number one, if I gave them a free instrumental, I would make it really hot, you know, I would make it really dope, and they would have to come back for it, you know. And so I did that. But I had this thing too. The only stipulation of using that free beat was that they had to put "produced by Bam Keith" in the title of the song. So it just automatically drew like a bunch of people, you know. Then I was able to get rolling. Yeah, so I had to play chess a little bit, you know, but
that's smart though. Like giving out free stuff and say, "Hey, can you use my stuff?" Who else done that? Mark Echo. He did that with his clothing back in the 90s when Echo Unlimited, before that brand took off. He will draw his, like, the artists he loves listening to. He draw them on like outfits and then hand it to them and let them wear it out. Like he tried to get Spike Lee, but Spike Lee wouldn't. I think Spike Lee wouldn't talk to him at first, and then he finally did something. Spike Lee noticed him. But like, what you did pretty much, you went out and talked like, "Hey, no, I'm a no name, but here's one of my products. If you like my beat, you know, let's meet up, let's collab. If you like, if you don't like it, so be it." And who else did a lot of? That's good advice right there, guys. Like if you're working on something, put some free stuff out there. Like you're not gonna get noticed by holding on to your stuff. Like get it out there and let people see what you got, and then if they like it, they'll come back. They will come back.
I got a question one time when I was talking about that, and they were like, "Well, weren't you scared that, you know, you're handing out your best beats?" And I'm like, if it came from me, I could make something else that was just as good, you know. So
I like that.
So it's like, you know, I had confidence in that. I'm like, if it came from me, I can make something else that's just as good or better, you know. So
that's dope.
Go ahead and do that, man.
I like that.
Thank you.
So, man, that's a great story right there. It's a good way to get noticed. Now, how long have you been producing music?
I've been producing music since I was 12 years old. Yeah, I had a cousin who made beats when I was growing up. And around the time I turned 12, I think he left for the Marines. And so, you know, I kind of like dabbled a little bit, like, you know, looking up stuff on a computer. You know, we had this like desktop, whatever. And it wasn't like the high tech desktop that something that you would use now if you were actually trying to produce. Just something just had a computer at the house,
like garage band.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, or it was even a Windows too. And so that's why so I'm like on there, and then I just started talking to my cousin some more about it, and then he started to teach me how to do it through the phone.
Oh wow!
While he was at the Marines, so yeah, then. Started to learn more and more, worked with it more and more, and so. Now
12, that's a long time. So what inspires you, man? What keeps you going? Like, how do you keep, like, every day you get in here, like, stay motivated? I gotta do another beat. Right. Gotta add another product out there. Like, how do you do it, man? Because that's 12 years old, 7. Those are years. It's not like that was yesterday.
Yeah, well, I hate to sound cliche, but my family, most definitely, and the things I want to do for them as well, and then you have this like little thing that happens, this little snowball effect that starts to happen where you get something done, you get something else done, then like, oh, you notice your name's in the article right here. Oh my God, now presence is building up. Oh my goodness, now you have all these things that Google is crawling on your name. And you're like, okay, I can't stop now. I got all these things that's happening. So that's another thing most definitely. And a minor one I'd say is that I'm always practicing, always practicing, how to get better. Even when I'm in the moment, when I'm in the studio doing it, I'm like, oh, I wonder what happened if I try this. I'm always testing my creativity out, see what else I can make, and that's how people find their styles. And my two favorite producers, Pharrell and Timbaland, they found their styles by doing that.
Other stuff.
Yeah.
Tinkering with other things.
Yeah, always practicing, because that's what they always are doing,
That's dope.
Yeah, that's all that keeps me going. Like,
family, and then like just trying other stuff out, like just the practice, the grind, the grind that you want to get better, you want to be more successful.
Exactly.
Any advice to anybody out there who wants to get into the music industry, who wants to be a producer, who wants to be an artist? Have any advice for them out there?
What I'd say most definitely is to study all times, and not only just study, but what helps you and what helps you keep going is to study your favorite things in music. You study your favorite things in music. For instance, this is how I learned how to play piano.
Okay.
I learned some of my favorite songs. And the more I kept learning, the more I realized, oh, some of these same chords are in other songs too. I remember playing this chord in this song that I learned,
Really?
They're all my favorite songs. I just kept learning them, learning more and more and more. And you kind of develop a style of your own, because you're not the same producer who produced that track. You're yourself. So you naturally, organically become yourself. And you create this style that was based off an influence of somebody else,
So what song would you play on the piano from what you heard on the radio or heard on a CD?
Ironically, I played every single Neptune song on the piano, ironically. Later on, when I became more developed, I started to work for the Grammys too. And some guy was like, actually, no, not some guy. The executive director of the Grammy Museum. He told me, he said, you ever, you know who Pharrell is, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, your music kind of reminds me of him. I'm like, what?
Like, get out of there. Like,
what? At the time, that's when Happy came out, and I was just like, no, it doesn't. What? I make like a bunch of. I looked up his discography, like all the beats that he's ever made. And I'm like, wow, like Justin Timberlake's first album, he did that. My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard, he made that beat.
No way, I know that.
Yeah, like Holla Back Girl, he made that beat. Like, all these different like beats. I'm looking up, I'm like, oh my goodness, like this dude has, and these are songs that I've learned that I didn't even realize I was playing.
From him.
Yeah.
Like, he was like your role model, like somebody you looked up to, and you're like, no way, like. That did not translate to this.
Exactly. So, like, that's how I kind of, like, created a style based off of, the Neptunes or Pharrell, and Chad and Hugo, like, their whole style. I created a style based off of that influence,
That's
awesome.
It's
crazy. Yeah.
How was it like performing at the Grammys or playing at the Grammys?
Well, yeah, so I didn't play there. I got invited the first year, and I got invited the next year after that as well, though. So I attended, and the first year I attended was when Suit and Tie came out. Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, Jay-Z's my favorite artist, and so it was awesome to see that happen. It was amazing to see my favorite people win Grammys. You know, the second year you go, and as a producer, you know, musician and producer, the second year you go, you're like, okay, now I need to be up there. So I need, you know, so now
Step my
I
game up.
Yeah, now I'm about to start. You know, the first year you go, you're like starstruck, like wow, like, you know, I'm here. You know, I'm sitting here next to Jack Black was just a few rows over, like, you know, like people. Celine Dion was like, you know, right there. It's like it was a surreal experience. You know, yeah. So the year after that is when you're like, okay, I need to step it up. Like, you know,
awesome, man.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's crazy. Like now you're like, all right, you know what? I've been here one time. Now you're like, I'm on your level. It's time for you guys to realize, like that's that feeling you need. Like,
okay, yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, and now it's time for you guys to know, like, okay, I can play with the big dogs.
Exactly.
I'm in the ballpark. I can go to bat too.
Exactly. And so, just going to that, talking to all the different people. Some advice that someone gave me was really crazy. He said, there's somebody just as old as you who's just as talented, who's working just as hard as you. Don't let them take your spot. And I was, you know, he told me that, and like, I think about that, you know.
Take that one in. That's some good advice right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You have to, not only just through sheer, you know, hard work, but being smarter than the next one, you know. And by being smarter, I mean by studying, you know. You will know more, and always be practicing, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And so
I never heard that one. That's wow. That's gold, because usually you hear there's somebody out there working, you know, they have all the talent in the world, but they're not working as hard as you. You're working harder. Like, you gotta outwork them.
Right.
And to hear somebody tell you, like, there's somebody out there who is working just as hard as you, just as talented as you.
Yep.
You need to work harder.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to think. Like, it's crazy to think that you always say, like, you know, hard work beat talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Right.
But then you always hear, like, okay, talent's not working hard. That's how I got here. But it's even crazier to think that, okay, what if talent is working hard?
Right.
Now you got to outwork talent.
You got to outwork talent.
Talent.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it gets a little bit, you know. you got to make sure, you know, you know yourself, and you're honest with yourself. Like, you know what? Yeah, this past week I've been kind of just chilling. I need to, like, you know,
get
back on it. Yeah, let's see what happens if I step back on it.
I'm getting hyped right now and just listening to you. I'm like, man, like, what am I doing wrong right now?
Oh man, no, man, it's been crazy. Just the words that I've heard just from people, you know, and just like people who are really in the industry, and you know, who are legends, you know what I mean, and especially in my eyes, knowing that I'm the background kind of guy too, and just hearing them and their advice and what they're, you know, and it's like it's insane, because you never really know, man. You never really know until somebody can bring that light to you, and you're like, never thought of it like that, you know, and
right,
you just, you know, and then you begin to work on it, because it's based off of the influence, you know. It hits your brain.
It's important to surround yourself around good people.
Yeah.
Like that right there. You said, like, the best of the influence.
Yeah.
Because they will say something to you at the time, probably won't be like that big of a deal. When you start sleeping on it and thinking, like, that's kind of right. I see what you're saying there. Like, I understand. Like, you surround yourself around good people, those influence you, trying to help you make you better.
Exactly.
You're gonna get better because because you also help them out too, so you're bouncing off. It's
iron sharpen iron type of deal, man. It's like, you know, you gotta, you know, build each other up, and know that you can't do everything by yourself, but, you know, but the only thing you can do by yourself, and the only thing that can stop you is yourself, you know. So that's you gotta know that, you know. I'm the one who decided to rest for this whole 2-something months and just kind of slack off, and even though, you know what I mean, it's like you just gotta have, you know, that person with you too, to just kind of build you up, you know. You're both doing it over and over again. They may hit you with a link or something. Hey, check this out. I did this beat. or no matter what you're doing, if you're an entrepreneur or whatever, hey, check this out. I got this from Mr. Wonderful. This is an amazing link. Look at this article. This may inspire you. This may, So.
Okay, this just popped in, and before I ask the second to the last question,
for sure.
But how do you stand out on social media? What are you doing on social media at a time when social media is like at its peak, I should say, and it's going to continue, going to become a part of our lives to the point where it's going to be an everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
But if it's not already is, so how do you stand on social media though? Like to advise somebody out there who's trying to get started, like you send the links and all this.
For sure.
How do you do that on the social media network?
It's now this one is a little bit difficult because I feel like you have to sort of figure out an algorithm of it, and what I mean by that is, I noticed that a lot more people are responsive to me around 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. than from 12 maybe to about 7. No one really is that responsive. But you got to think about what everybody's doing. They're probably at work. They probably, So I post things around either the morning time or I post things like around the evening time. Never post things at night. Post things around like 7, maybe 6, 7, 8, because you got to take in consideration what everybody else is doing,
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to figure that out basically, and that was mainly with Instagram. I figured that, post things right here, and then pretty much with Twitter, that's kind of like a more loose environment, but Instagram is the one that's just like, okay, I want to post things. It's like important, and I will get the most responses at this time or that time, and so that's really how I deal with it. I've been doing that for like a good 2 years, I want to say, to where, and it's grown a lot, it's really grown a lot, a lot of people, and been tapping into it, and, you take pictures, some of your most special moments and things, and it's a bunch of things that's involved with it. It's really crazy, and, people could really easily tap into it around those times, though.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right, second to last question here. Where can they find you? Like, what you already said Instagram, you already said Twitter, but like, what's the URLs? What's the names? What's the Instagram? All the things that go along with it. It's so much stuff at this point. Names. What is it? @handle, name, URL, Snapchat. This. Like, where can they find you? Because you're also on SoundCloud too.
Yeah, I'm SoundCloud. Bam Keith on pretty much everything. Twitter is Bam_Keith. I also have a website, www.bamkeith.com, and you can check out some of the remixes I've made. You can check out some of the services I offer as well, and even the featured artists I've worked with, and credits. You can Google me, Bam Keith. You can see my discography, who I've produced for, and things I've done for them, and yeah. All of that.
And Bam, I will put that in the description. So guys, you will see all Bam stuff in the description below. And lastly, how do you define success?
Wow, I think that success is your own. I think that whatever your version of success is what success is. I feel like a lot of people get mixed up that they think that they have to have a big house and like a Rolls Royce and and watches and diamonds in order to feel successful. If that's how you feel successful, then that's your success. But there's some people who don't need all that. Some people, they want a house, they want a car, and they're doing what they love. And that's my version of success. I think success is what you have completed. Success is what you feel is completed. So honestly, that's it's my definition.
Some good words right there.
Appreciate it.
Well, Bam, thanks for coming on to this episode of Grind Towards Success. Appreciate it, man. Really do. Hope you keep doing great work, man. Hope you keep working hard, keep hustling, and keep striving to be the best. And
thank you.
One day, top of your success mountain and taking over, man.
Thank you.
Hey guys, that's it for this episode of Grind Towards Success. That's Bam Keith. All the information will be below, so you can follow him, see what he's doing, and keep watching his goals and grind towards success as well.
Always be practicing.
Remember, always be practicing. Put that on a shirt. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Thank you guys for being on this journey. It's 21 episodes, and we'll keep going. We'll keep grinding, just like Bam will keep working towards his goals and dreams. Hey, thanks for watching one last time, and keep being awesome. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Before you go, I do want to mention I started my own business. It's called Lofty Grind Athletics. It's a motivational athletic brand. Our goal is to inspire and motivate you to go after your fitness and athletic goals. Now on our website, which is www.loftygrindathletics.com, repeat that one more time, www.loftygrindathletics.com, we will have certain gear such as the Conquer Your Challenge 100% polyester shirt. Now there's 100% polyester, or repeat that, 100% polyester. It only weighs 3.5 ounces, which means it's lightweight. It won't hold you down and let you get through any of your workouts. On the back, it has Lofty Grind Athletics on it, and these shirts are $15. We have another one that is Refuse to Be Outworked, which is also a $15 shirt. Check it out on our website at www.loftygrindathletics.com, and we're going to have more gear to come. And if you're watching this episode on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. Please put a comment in the comment section below of a new topic or something you want me to talk about, and please subscribe. Lastly, you can follow me on Instagram there, follow me on Snapchat there for new and daily motivational tips, and you can watch the next episode or the last episode of Grind Towards Success here, and watch Movie Showdowns, which is a movie review series that I've started. Other than that, thanks for watching this episode. Keep being awesome.